and then share the screen.
Not if
Here? No. Okay. I'm an expert on digitalization.
Well, hello and welcome to this afternoon panel on digitalization and the economy. I hope you had a good break. So now we are ready to have three really interesting presentations on basically a trend that is encompassing all over the world, which is the digitalization era and how it impacts economics, how it impacts firms, how it impacts industries. And we'll have, as I said, three presentations. First, Alex Elsas will talk about the digitalization process in itself and its potential to change industries and economies, and he will use some multimedia, so he will make through that of digitalization. In second place, Ramiro Galvez will introduce us to the world of big data and its implications and applications for economists and scholars. Thirdly, Professor Roland Eisen will talk about how digitalization affects mainly the labor market, and his presentation will take us through different industrial revolutions, taking us to the digital revolution in the present. Okay, so each of you have 20 minutes, and let's start.
Okay, thanks for the introduction and welcome to the audience here. You may notice there's also Carola Wonrock written on the slides because we did the presentation and the preparation and everything together, but as it seems to be tradition today, some people cannot join for whatever reason, but she will have, so we thought of introducing her via Skype or whatever, but normally in the instant moment you need it, the internet connection is gone away, so we have prepared a small video about her part. I will not say too much detail on the slides. I want to give you an introduction, an overview. I want to give you a motivation why this is a hot topic, why this is an important topic. In the preparation for this Arnoldshain seminar we had a discussion, and one of the colleagues said, well, we have to take into account we are still economists, probably meaning that digitalization is not our topic, but on the contrary, from my point of view, from my opinion, digitalization is exactly a topic also for economists, especially of course for people working in the firms, doing businesses, and that's the new most important point from my opinion. Digitalization affects all our lives every day. Who has a smartphone? Dumb question.
Sure.
Who has not a smartphone? 10 years ago the answer would have been quite on the contrary. And especially the smartphone, and I think we have now more or less 10 years of smartphones. They invaded all our private lives. We control and plan and communicate and everything with it. And this was the big push, and this was the main factor why we are today talking about the global point of digitalization. It's not computerization anymore, it's not automatization only, and it's not the business life anymore, it's all of the life, all of society, and from private to business. And I think this is what it makes important for economists, because economists, what are they doing? They are analyzing everyday lives, they are looking for efficiency and everything. So I think digitalization is deep in the heart of economic activities. The first problem by finding the topic or the title for this roundtable was, well, at least in the English language there are two terms which could be important for us. One of them is digitalization and the other one is digitization. And unfortunately, or as it is usually, many people use those terms not in a coherent way. They say the one thing and mean the other, or they don't see any distinction at all. Luckily in Germany we only have one term, we only have digitalisierung. It's the same in Italian, I've been told, but I'm not sure about the Spanish language.
Yes, it's the same. Digitalization.
Yeah. But in English we have digitization and digitalization, and so my first idea is to give you a short introduction. What's the difference? And the main difference is digitization is a technical process. It's the technical process of converting analog information into digital information. Just like not daring to ask who has a digital camera. If you have a camera, it is a digital camera nowadays, but go back 10, go back 15 years, you had all your pictures printed, whatever, and then you had the first idea, oh God, it's much easier to show them to all my family if I have them on the computer, and so you took a scanner, and this scanner device converted the analog pictures to pixels. It's digitized. And if you think back about the photographic industry in the past 10 or 15 years, it has gone nearly 100% digital. Nobody, maybe except for a few professionals or old-timers, use any more analog cameras today. So the photographic industry has been changed by this innovation from the ground. Kodak, you may remember Kodak as one of the leading firms in photography. They even invented the first digital camera, but they are out of business nowadays. So the digital revolution within photography has eaten its founder, Kodak, at this point. So this is an important point for us as being, as working in economics. Kodak is out of business. Kodak invented it. So, and if you look at other industries, just think of the media, of the press, or they are all in different stages of developing, different stages of adopting new business models, and with all those consequences, this is the topic for us, being economists. So, first step in digitalization, convert the information into numbers, digitize them, and this is only the first step. Main advantage here is to save a lot of storage, a lot of physical storage space. I have, I don't know how many pictures I have at home at my computer, or you probably in the numbers of 100,000, 50,000 at least. Just imagine having slides to store them. So the sheer number of information, of documents we have, would not be possible nowadays to handle them without having them in a digitized version. And the second step within this converting is to get extra information. You see some examples here, for example, optical character recognition, converting bit pixels, for instance, into characters. Or you may know Google. Google does a lot of research into face recognition. So first step is just some colorful pixels within digitalization, and the second step is getting information. Who is this? What is this? And then being able to transform this into new information, to have new business models. And as I already said, in 2007 this was the turning point with mobile devices. Then there is the third step, connectivity. People get nervous nowadays when they are not online for 5 minutes in the cellar or whatever. So we are nearly 100% online nowadays, and this, some people call it hyper-connectivity. This is the big push for digitalization, because we have instruments, we have devices with us each and every day, every minute, which could be important for buying, for finding, or even for controlling us. So there's also a dark side, a bad side of digitalization. And these are the points we have to address, which have to be addressed in the future. So, and there are a lot of terms, Industry 4.0, the fourth industrial revolution, Internet of Things, or whatever, but they all can be summarized with the term digitalization. So, And now hopefully the video works. This is Carola, and she put a lot of works into getting an overview and especially focusing on the point what digitalization means for our everyday personal life. So, just have to find the here. Okay. Okay.
With technology like this, you can communicate everywhere to everywhere, and you can be teaching and receiving information from everywhere you are. At the moment, I'm in the UK, and we will see the same presentation together. Just a minute. And while you are sitting there for your conference in really good weather, here it might rain down a lot. In my part, we will look into how big digitization will impact jobs, work, the workforce, economies, people, and also the private life. Jobs are prone to changes because job profiles are going to change. Machines can do some work, which we already have seen when machines were taking over after the Industrial Revolution. But because machines can do so much, people are impacted by that as such that they might lose their jobs. We can see that 5.8 million jobs have been lost in the US in manufacturing in the years 2000 until 2008. And mind you, the recession only started in 2008. So to survive in this area, people need to be able to use the technology, create apps, know how to use the software. But the other thing that comes with the jobs that machines do, and you just using it with your brain, is that a lot of companies for the 21st century now give people more freedom, and there is no clear career path anymore. So when jobs changes, you just move on to the next opportunity. There are many chances for young people in it. For example, through distance learning, you can connect with people in other regions. You can learn languages and actually speak them, even though you might not be able to for traveling. People can communicate, and also it's nice if you have a niche interest to find a bunch of people that might support you. You will be able to communicate, discuss the topics, even though you might not have somebody with the same interest in your home region. And there are also certain skills gap. People need, as we've seen above, to be able to be using the technology and the products, but in the long term, there's less labor needed. So less people to do actually the hard work, but more people who know how to do it. People who know how to teach the machines what to do. And this is actually a big opportunity. There are many professionals needed. And also the culture seems to be changing. If you have an entrepreneurial mindset, you might be able to go from opportunity to opportunity, not follow a certain career path. But if you're not self-driven enough, you might just get stuck somewhere. If we ask ourselves, who is on the digital trend? Who's using the internet? We can see that most of the regions are fairly similar. The smartphone adoption is growing more than 50% annually. Even in the farthest regions, people are now using email. A lot of them do, some may not. If you look on the right side of the slide, there we can see that the demographics play a major role in who's online and who's using the internet. So it would be harder to connect somebody who's already, let's say, 72 and teach them about how to use all these smartphones, tablets, and so on. But to be fair, they don't need to be productive in this working environment anymore. But for some things, like customer service, they have different needs. They want to talk to a real person instead of just going with the live chat. So this is important to take into consideration. Speaking about which, if we look at the next slide, we see that Europeans would like to do more things online. If you look at these Europeans here in the statistic, half of them would be happy to manage their relationships with providers entirely through digital channels. like with the chat with the TV company, or the cable provider, or your mobile cell phone provider, just through the web chat or email. However, if you ask people who use the traditional channels, what was deterring them from using digital services? A lot of the studies find out that the critical and crucial point is that people want to talk to real people on the phone, because of course they understand better. We all have been in a situation where you call an online help desk and it's going from please dial this and that number until you get kicked out of the line, or you are in a queue and then you are on hold for a long time until you reach a person who tells you they are not the people who are in charge of this problem. If we compare Europe and not the US, we see that overall the more competitive environment for European markets is produced by a stronger digital offer for consumers, who are in turn more comfortable using mobile and online channels for most of their needs. The European markets are more fragmented. We have smaller players and we have smaller network operators, so the competition is generally higher, and so they don't have the same pressure to reduce their operating costs. Second, it opens path for new business models. New entrants to the mobile communications world have entered the European markets, such as Free, Comsa and Giftcard, who are only operating online. Third, the US are stronger willing to see a person in store when they want to do research, ask about products and touch them before buying it. Upselling and cross-selling. US companies generate significant revenue from traditional channels like stores and call centers, and so they are not really motivated to introduce digital-only customer journey. But with the new customers, this may shift as people are also willing to do the omni-channel customer behavior. So this means that people look online for products but still go to the shop, which includes all the channels that you can use, hence omni. If we take a look on the impacts of private life, you might have read about celebrities who have their new pictures leaked, music leaked, anything that can be online is now really easy to share as well as hack. But what else is there if you don't take stuff from somebody that they wanted to protect or not share? But people are willingly share stuff. Let's say on Instagram and Facebook. You might have heard sentences like, live your Instagram life. That refers to people only sharing the best part of their lives online, which can cause envy in others. If you compare your normal life to somebody's, and sometimes even faked trophies and achievements, it can cause depression. With a more connected world, it is so easy just to compare yourself to the talent in your group of friends or hometown, but worldwide. And this can increase anxiety. With all the jobs that will be done by machines, how would you get employed? I mean, there are so many more people who do exactly what you do. I mean, you checked on LinkedIn. What will your employer say about your beer drinking picture on Facebook? However, there are a lot of positive sides to the digitalization and connectedness. You might find the love of your life somewhere in this world, and then, thanks to software, you might have a fabulous long-distance relationship. Also, with it, there comes so much freedom. Some companies allow their people to work from wherever they are. The employees do not need to be in the office, and sometimes have even flexible working times, if the job allows. That is especially interesting for millennials who do not want to put up with a commuter train and being able to spend some quality time with their kids. Or being home when a child is ill, looking after family members, or when they might get something done on the house and then they need to overlook the workers. Who wants to spend a holiday day for it? New technology and also old school laptops plus a webcam plus stable internet connection already made such an impact in our life, just as somebody can present as a conference without being there physically. Oh, like me today. Back to Alex.
Okay, thanks Caro, and it's very important to stay on time today, and you said 2 minutes and it works perfectly, it fits into this. I have some more slides in the presentation, but I will just put the presentation online, and they are just summarizing some of the key facts, and we have also a recording of the roundtable here today, and then you can look into it afterwards, and maybe we can have our discussions and the contact, not in real life after the conference, but virtually in a digitalized way. Thanks for your interest, and I'm happy to answer any questions now or probably later in the discussion round after the three presentations. Thanks.
Thank you, Alex, for your presentation using all kind of multimedia and digital instruments. So now we move on to Ramiro, who will talk us a little bit about what we can do with all the data which is being available over the web. So Ramiro, you have your presentation there?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I will stand up.